The following hour is brought to you by MidasResources.com, your trusted source for precious metals since 1996. Call Midas today at 1-800-686-2237.
Well, listeners, welcome to the second hour of Uncommon Awareness. You know, a few of you have texted me or emailed me to say that you're pretty intrigued by the programming this week. It is different. I haven't heard things put quite this way. We've done shows on the meaning of words, the roots of words, the corruption of language, shows on other people's perspectives on what the nature of evil on this planet is, because there is such wanton recklessness and disregard for any sanctity of life these days that one has to begin to beg the question, who or what is doing this? And again, we have to take 100% responsibility for rooting out those things in our own lives that contribute to the ongoing chaos, the ongoing mayhem, the ongoing destruction, degeneration of the planet. We didn't. Most of us aren't doing this deliberately. We're doing it just because we think it's the way we're supposed to live life. We have to begin to question that if we have a regard for the continuation of life on planet Earth. But right now, Desert is going to basically give us, he says that a lot of words that are used for Satan, devil, Beelzebub, different words are used that we think that they're synonymous, and he's going to give us actually the definition of the words and distinguish for us what the different words mean.
Well, first we have to go back to that propaganda news Lorraine, because it's amazing. But see, right in front of our face, and nobody heard it but me, I guess. You heard about talking about that ISIS thing, right? I mean, I'm just hearing the news. Okay, I've not been following it, but I heard it the other, since I've been on this week, the news thing about ISIS, right? They're going after Muslim, the IS, some Muslim group, they say, right? Islamic, right?
Right.
Okay, so they say that they're going after ISIS, and they plan to defeat the plan to defeat ISIS will take several years. Well, ISIS is their woman, okay? That's Issa, the woman. That's Zeus, the healing Zeus. Isis in the Greek. It is Ishtar in Babylon. It is in Egypt. My mind escapes me all of a sudden. Well, ISIS. There you go.
It is ISIS, and it is ISIS in Egyptian.
Yeah, and so what is going on? You see, you've got to remember they do everything in reverse. So when they're saying we're going after ISIS and we plan, and it's going to take several years to pull this off, what they're really saying in code is that we're going after Christians, and so ISIS is their woman. So it's a code. And it's interesting that SRN is an abbreviation of siren, see, to sound their alarms. So this is where their codes are being read off on the news, you see. But nobody can read it. They're when they were going after some Muslim group or whatever, they're killing Christians, Syrians, right? So anyway, this is how the game is played, all right? And they did the trick, of course, with I told you in the Greek, tap biblos means reverse book. When we talked the other day. So that's what they've done. They create everything as, so in other words, remember when I talked about Moses asked, please, can you show me who you are? And he says, I can only show you my backside. And I said it was a reverse image. Remember?
Mm-hmm. I do. Okay.
Right? Okay. Right. So in other words, I said the universe is a reverse image of the truth. Everything is in reverse. And then, in other words, it's here in a way as a reflection to tell us the truth when we can meditate and we can get focused. But so what they've done is they've created a second reversal, and they reverse everything again. You see, and so just like the chimera, if you look in the dictionary. By the way, this dictionary, that Lorraine is making available, I highly recommend getting a copy. 285 pages. Of mind-blowing revelations of what I'm sharing all this week with words and everything, and it supports your ministry. So please, if you don't have anything to make a premium donation, it's okay. Just let her know you want to get a copy. Not everyone can make a premium donation for $25, but And no matter what, everyone has to have this, okay? So let her know if you can't afford it. And just whatever you can make to Dr. Lorraine's ministry, that'd be great. So where was I going with that? Okay,
we were talking about a double reversal, and I want to make one quick comment, which is that with ISIS, listeners know my stand on this, war is abhorrent, and there's never a war that's fought for the reasons we're thinking it's being fought. It's all, we can call it a banker's war, we can call it whatever we want, but you absolutely cannot believe that they're telling us the truth about what's taking place there. This is insanity. This is a perpetual warmongering that's been going on since World War II.
Yeah, that news report on ISIS was MI6, British intelligence news report, basically, all the Vatican. Okay, so we have these common what we call religion. There's one right there. That's religion. That's legion all over again. Legion is leg irons. They put you back in the stocks and bonds. Oh, that's Wall Street. Oh, that's the birth certificate. So they put you in leg irons. So you don't want religion. And then you want the etheric breath. That would be the correct terminology. The etheric, that which is higher and above, and the ethers above. So we got devil, Satan, demon. So let's define the terms and find out if they are what we thought they were. A devil means adversary, but they don't want to give you the word adversary in the scripture because devil creates a false image. It creates a creature with horns on his head, with a pitchfork and a tail. But the adversary in the Old Covenant has always been man. There were no what we call quote-unquote devils until the Vatican took over Vatican/Babylon, okay, Vatican/Babylon, same group of people throughout time, take it over, and then they changed the word adversary into devil, make it a capital D, as well, like they do with Satan and demon and Lucifer. But they don't get it. They're not proper nouns. They are just nouns. And but they don't mean what they say, what they mean, because they don't mean what they say. And T-Val, there you can see it means.
Well, wait, so adversary when we say
is really
when you say
that's what it means. So they're telling you right in the word that it's a cover. Okay.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Satan is a corruption of Shirfan. Shirfan is the original word for the sun, and which is the word serpent. That's what Satan is, the serpent. And the serpent was regarded as the son. Moses was led by a serpent in the wilderness. His staff was the serpent. So the serpent guides us. So our body is the serpent. So when Jesus was in the wilderness being tempted by Satan, that's where they filtered it and corrupted it, because he was being tempted by the serpent, and the serpent was his flesh. The test was, could he go 40 days without eating food, while he bathed himself in the Jordan River and used a long trailing gourd to put water in his colon so that he wouldn't dehydrate, but yet never drank a drop of water. You see, people want to associate it as some supernatural event when the fact was he studied Ayurvedic healing in the ancient cultures, and he was a master of discipline. So he showed us the way to discipline. He was not, he was a man, and this is again part of the filtering and the corruption, because they deified Yeshua, a man, my elder brother, blood of the earth, flesh and blood, and made him into something beyond the flesh to do and imply in a sense that we could not live up to his standard, when all he was the ultimate disciplinarian. So without going there, because I just had to give you that footnote. So he conquered the Satan. He conquered the flesh, and then the last evidence of it was on the burning tree, or the curse, or what we call the cross, which probably was more of a sacrificial stake, but we won't go there. So demon. Now, this is an interesting one for the doctor, because it seems that whenever somebody had, epilepsy or some other malady that made them roll around on the ground, or of that nature, then they said he has a demon, right? But you see, it's in the word again, because it is. Let me first pose a question now. Lorraine, as a medical doctor, if you saw someone having an epileptic seizure, for instance, and you would not say that they had a demon, would you? Would you not more be inclined to say they had like an unnatural condition, an imbalance that needed direction?
I would say that there was an imbalance in their central nervous system, that there was some super excitation, and precipitated by some toxins, some electromagnetic waves, some malnutrition, something. Something
natural, a natural explanation behind what is going on. And so the moon They understood that the moon had power over the psyche. They understood that the moon had power over the seed, within Earth and the ocean, that everything was being moved by this mystery of the moon. It pulled the ocean waves onto the shore. It was pulling on everything and everyone. And so they said, it is the moon. So the primitive could only begin to describe some unnatural condition by saying he's under the power of the moon. Just like the firemen in San Francisco will tell you that on any full moon they got more calls for fires than any other time of the month. So it's a fact. And so the point is that the ancients understood the power of the moon, but it wasn't that, see, so how the picture changed, it went from understanding a physiological power to making it then into a character. See what I'm saying, Doctor?
Right.
Into a character.
So far we have devil being really the adversary, meaning the adversarial nature of the mind or the ego. Then we have Satan, which was serpent, and the Satan, it represents the body overcoming the learning to discipline and to control the body. The serpent that tempted Jesus was the body. And then we have demon, the power of the moon, the power of mystery. And becoming demon, what we don't understand has to be a demon or under the influence of the moon, mystery, something's going on, we can't figure it out.
Yeah, there you go. And just to go back to devil with the ego, that is man. Because man is the one who will always be coming after you. Okay? He's the one coming after you. He's the one lying to you. He's the one who's having a total effect on your environment and your world. So Lucifer is the light of fire. So Lucy, she's looking good, she's pretty, she's clothed in the light, but she don't have any light within her. See, she's a reflection of the sun. That is the moon. That is the proverbial Lucifer, also anciently known as the Fae, also anciently, and go look up Fae in any mythological dictionary. You won't find it. I had to get the $400 Oxford out because that's their baby, the Fae. But you see it on the Santa Fe Railroad. There's a different tradition within the Spanish, and so the Fae. Edgar Allan Poe wrote about the Fae, the island of the Fae. So she's around, but you got to look hard for her because that's their, and spelled properly Phy, but Fay in the modern English, but Phy, and that was the Fae, and we find it in the word actually father. There's the Fae Thor, right there, the Fae Thor, the power of the Fae. So when we say father, we're actually saying the power of the woman. You see, so there's your duality. So Lucifer, so she's an idea, okay, because all that she is in representation is the power of the moon, again, that being moon.
Okay. So, all right, we're going to break. I thought that was a really pretty great series of definitions, helping us to get some perspective on this thing we call evil. Okey-doke. So in the last segment, Desert is telling us that evil and the words we use to connote evil, such as devil, Satan, Lucifer, or demon, are in fact man-made constructs. The worship of Satan or Lucifer is being evidenced in events, such as the Olympics, desert. So what you're saying is that there is a group of men and women on the planet. This is one big grand theater, that there is no genuine devil or demon, that we are dealing with a construct that is intended to create a huge amount of fear and, of course, submissiveness in us towards religion, towards again, false ideas about who and what we are. Did I say that correctly? I mean, false images, because they got us to get pictures in our mind of things that don't exist, rather than the true nature of what it is. Just like I should have added the word Satan, also coming from the Hebrew Hashatan. The Hashatan, again, is transliterated or translated as accuser, the one who accuses. So when I said that it was serpent and that it was Yeshua's body or Joshua's body, but why? Because the body is the accuser. The body is the one saying, "Come on, you can make that stone over there a piece of bread so that we can eat. Come on, you want to do it, don't you? Come on, don't you know how everything in the universe operates? Come on, you could clean up shop. Everyone can bow down and worship you on earth. Come on, don't you want to do it?" That's ego, right, Lorraine? Right. Right.
Are you there?
So I'm here. Can you hear me, Desert?
Right.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello?
Hello?
I guess we got disconnected.
No, we're not disconnected.
Okay. I don't know if I can keep on talking.
Keep
I
talking.
The studio would let me know if
Don, can you hear me?
I hear you now. Okay.
Okay.
So you heard, that's the ego. So the Satan is also the Hashatan. Hashatan being the accuser. Guess what? In medieval Europe, they called the prosecutor the Hashatan, the Satan, the prosecutor, man. So he's the guy on the other side of the courtroom over there saying, you've done all these bad things, you don't even know what he's talking about. The accuser. In the flesh. The Satan, you see.
Okay.
So they knew the meaning of the word back then, but when you don't have a connection with your history, you forget the meaning of everything, you see. That's the problem. So what I'll do is I'll move from the Luciferian idea now into the Luciferian cult, and that'll lead us into the Matrix. I think that's the proper order. So Lucifer is just a symbol and an image represented as the moon. She is the light of fire. Lucy Ball represented it. Go remember the black and white first opening of the program. Lucy Ball. Lucy, right in front of her is that, behind the word Lucy is that giant round ball. That's the moon. That's Ball. Oh, Ball. They bowed down and worshiped Ball too, didn't they? Lucy Ball. And Lucy is short for Lucifer. And there it is right there in your face, Isis, and nobody gets the picture. I guess that's why I never liked Lucy, So the Luciferian, so you asked a good question when we first spoke over about a 2-day period, Lorraine, and you had this one question. I thought it was jam up because nobody ever asked it me before, and you basically said, so what is Lucifer? Who is the Luciferian cult? You in other words, define all this for me. And it was perfect because that's the thing that needs to be done. Because you see, again, the people have ideas in their minds like this Lucifer is some kind of cosmic energy with a dress, and boobs, and she floats around everywhere and she does damage. But she's not like that. She doesn't have boobs and she doesn't have a dress. She's only dressed up in symbolic nature as the moon, and then dressed up within religion as priesthoods. And because these are the men, where's the dress? It's on the men. The men are wearing the dresses. That's why the Scottish Rite, Masons, the Scottish Rite wearing those kilts, they're wearing the dresses for the religion, for their woman, because they are the woman. They have become Lucifer, because Lucifer is only alive and well within the minds and the bodies of men. And therefore, from the beginning, the Watchers, when they set up the priesthood, the Aryans, and they got their frontline Canaanite defense forces going, they then established the very religious aspects of everything we see today there at the beginning. And it started with Egypt, and of course India had its own, Krishna. Krishna sounds just like Christ. That's why some people think that, the tradition in India of Krishna is more superior than to Christianity, because it was a forerunner, and they don't understand, of course, the law of syzygy and the bigger picture, what we can't go to right now. But so what happened was they started the blood oath. And by the way, this blood drinking, stems all the way out of that, because they believed that by drinking the blood of men, they gained supernatural power. And so then they found out when the guy's tortured, it even gets you high. And so This is why torture is so important within their machinations.
Okay, so we'll come back with that, with blood drinking rituals, which a lot of people are loath to acknowledge still goes on. It does. Hi, I'm Dr. Lorraine. Okay, moving forward, to continue this conversation, who and what is the Luciferian cult, and what has been its influence on the confusion and the illusions that are currently overtaken most of the rest of the planet right now. Do you want to just jump in there, Desert?
Yeah, I do, because I know we got limited time and I got a long way to go yet. Serpent Cult, is what we're dealing with. It's the Serpent Cult. It was about the serpent. It said the flesh represents the serpent. The phallus of the male, sexual organ represents the serpent. The Egyptian obelisk represents the male erection, symbol of creation, the serpent. The Elohim is and therefore symbolized as serpent. And we talked about the serpent eating its tail. So it's a serpent cult, and that's why you saw Pharaoh had the cobra on his headdress, and was one other creature, the vulture, because not only do they embrace the serpent, and the serpent again is not evil by itself; it's understanding the meaning of the symbol. They said they were from the light, and the sun is the primary symbol of the serpent, but then the vulture. So the symbol of the serpent is the symbol of life, and the symbol of the vulture is the symbol of death, because it is the eater of the dead. And is that not what they are today? They have killed us all, and they eat upon us. They are the eaters of the dead. And but what's interesting is they don't tip us off, to the meaning of these things. But you will see them in different pictures, like, don't tread on me, don't tread on me. Remember that one? They never told us the meaning of that serpent on the flag. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on who? What? Who are you talking about? What? There's a story behind it. Well, it must be that the one occult society is telling the other occult society on the other side, hey, wait a minute, don't forget we're over here. When you come to do your dirty work, don't forget we're here too. So it's like a high sign. So we think it's our flag, but it's not. It's theirs. So the vulture, has a unique quality, and it looks like an eagle when it's far away in the sky. And so until it gets close, then you say, well, that's not an eagle, that's a vulture. But so they put the eagle on all of their symbolism from Babylon all the way to the dollar bill, and we get to think that that's our bird. But eagle is also a bird of prey. So it has a double symbolic nature. It flies higher than all of the birds, sees farther, and we're supposed to be like that, but not to prey, upon others or on the dead. So anyway, it's a serpent cult. And so this religious order, this Aryan Brahmin priesthood, then set up shop all over the world, with the priesthood, while they're creating civilizations, satellite civilizations all over the world, and they're moving through time. And so what they've essentially created at the beginning was an idea. It was an idea based on the metaphors of nature, because they knew they were serving the mother. But the mother, who was a virgin at the beginning, became a whore, and she demanded blood. And so that's the duality of the moon when they say there's another side to the moon, the dark side. Well, there is no dark side to the moon, because all the moon gets light. Dark side is a metaphor also. The dark side is that the moon, when she looks so good and so beautiful, has a dark, occult world that worships it. Uses that as their icon. The host in the Catholic Church every Sunday, when he picks up the host and everybody puts it on their tongue, they're eating Lucifer, okay, the round host, the moon. So it's not a symbol of light, it is a symbol of darkness, just like the cross is the symbol of the black sun. So this occult clique has come down to us from this beginning, not the other processions preceding. I'm dealing with the beginning of this Aryan race that we talked about going back a few days ago with Adam and Eve, these particular seed line. And they dominated the world. Their agenda was to dominate the world, and they created false saviors. That's why every culture had a false savior archetype until because they knew the true one was coming. So they said, hey, don't be looking for your savior. We got him. We created him. Clement referred to this in his lost writings as the law of syzygy, because in the end, what it means is first many false ones will come, and then in the end, the true one will come. And he did come, because he made all things, and he speaks to all of life and all of nature, and he speaks to me. And so what they did then is they created the matrix. They created the constructions of all things. They took what was a natural matrix, which spoke truth, and they created a fabricated construct of a matrix that speaks all falsehood. It tantalizes the heart and the mind, and it offers promises that it cannot deliver upon. And in the end, it leaves you empty and dead. And in the beginning, it left you dead. And so that's why Yeshua said you have to be born again, because then you come up a new life, and you are then able to see for the first time when you are willing to surrender. Because you can't think you're in control when you're not in control, since you didn't create your own life. And so anyway, this matrix that they gave to us is now the second removed barrier, because it was bad enough just being in the natural world trying to figure out that you're a supernatural being and you're not flesh and you are a spirit. Now you have to work your way through the matrix, and that's what they call the third world. The third world is the matrix that they created. It's an illusion, and they got you to think you are this, you think you are that, you're this and that, and you're something other. And so it's about getting through the web of that tremendous onion that they've created, and the perpetual war. They talked about that again on the news at the top. This non-ending war. It's going to have to go on. Come on, what did they say in that news report? ISIS. We plan to defeat ISIS, but it will take several years. Don't you see how they're probing your mind? It's going to take several years to go after ISIS. This is the name of the game to keep you thinking. Yeah, there's got to be a legitimate war. They're going after Muslims. Well, let's see. There's a Muslim president, I think, in the White House, a Muslim. Now, do you really think the Muslims are going to go after the Muslims? Have you not figured it out yet, what's really going on, ladies and gentlemen? Any comment? Lorraine, save me.
I'm not going to save you. You're doing just fine.
All right. Well, then let me continue.
I do want to make one comment. I want to thank you. I feel like the way you've shared things today is finally helping to put some pieces of the puzzle together for me, because remember, you've been at this for 30 years. I met you a couple of weeks ago, Des, 40. I met you a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just acknowledging, listeners, it's by the end of the week tomorrow, we're going to do a little recap. I want to encourage you to investigate this. I don't let anyone tell me what to believe. I do work with information. I work with synchronicity, and I'm learning. There's room for improvement, but I'm learning to allow my inner guide to direct me. And it really does come down to getting rid of all prejudice, examining all beliefs for where they came from, what their source is, etc. To be able to see with clear eyes and to be able to move with a pure heart in terms of what we are called to do in this world. And I just wanted to acknowledge that you're doing a great job, Desert.
Well, thank you, Lorraine. I'm so honored. You've allowed something to happen this week that didn't exist before, and it's a view that nobody's talking about, and it is my view, and I'm settled with it. I don't need to convince anybody of anything. I'm just so grateful that the Father has given me some light to see. And so again, the cap off might have to be tonight with this, this proposed. The government's lying to us. Okay, we know they're lying. We know that there are aliens, and we know that they are here, and they are gray, and they're in the White House, and they are actually, going to save us from something. I don't know what they're supposed to save us from. But yet, we forget. We forget the things that are right in front of us, or don't ever look. Just like so many great researchers that I have met are already, no longer with us, and then they don't ever talk about the War and Emergency Powers Act again from 1933 or whenever. Or, all these other important discoveries. Howard Freeman, a great researcher back 20 years ago, all of these great, and then nobody talks about these things anymore. That we went under unannounced martial law. We were declared the enemy. What's going on? The people were declared the enemy back in the 1930s by banking when they took over in the bankruptcy. Nobody talks about that on the news, and nobody talks about that on the alternative hardly, as far as I can tell. So the great discoveries are gone. So what about this? Let's again talk about evidence of something. And how Wernher von Braun's on his deathbed. Here's the SS stormtrooper Nazi rocket scientist. Wernher von Braun makes the V-2 rockets. After World War II, comes over here, and he takes over NASA. Nazi, and where the UFOs I discovered underground. After I saw them the night before Easter evening south of Memphis, going north when I was going south towards Jackson, Mississippi. Found out they were based underground in Jackson, Mississippi the next day. That's another story. Maybe tomorrow. And Jackson, Mississippi just happened to be the headquarters of Wernher von Braun and the first NASA office. Okay, so put two and two together, and then so Wernher von Braun, he becomes, I guess, a good American at one point. Decides he doesn't like being a Nazi, kick you in the teeth, stormtrooper, sell out your families and your neighbors and all of your, any ethic that ever could belong to anybody, and to be a mass murderer. So he decides to confess to his secretary on his deathbed, and he talks about how that what they're planning, with this Area 51 thing, and it's not just Area 51. There's bases all over Jackson, Mississippi, California, other, they're on YouTube. You can find them. Okay, the truth is out there. It's right in front of you, and that he said that they're going to have a pretend UFO invasion. The Nights of Lights, whatever that was called back in '97. Over Phoenix, this giant supposed mothership that was over Phoenix is half the size of the city. Well, don't you know that the very, scientific research military institute that does the holograms in the sky is just south of Phoenix. So put two and two together, okay? So they're just doing an experiment for what's coming in the future. So as somebody well said it, that so-called UFOs, the Vimanas, the ancient Vimanas from ancient time, that the Aryans made, will be killing people, but, the motherships won't be real. They'll just be holograms, and the little ships come out of them, and they got their little ray guns or whatever they do. But anyway, so the confession of Wernher von Braun is pinnacle. It's noteworthy. It's monumentous, because he knew if he did it earlier, they would have killed him, so he waited until he was going to die, and then he tells the truth. Because he had family, too, became a family man. That's why they don't want priests to be family men, because priests will not have the natural inclinations of a father or a grandfather to want his family to know. And that's why, as you see in Superman, when, Superman's being pre-programmed as he's coming to Earth in this little, in a little Kai-Star ship, he's being told, you will not interfere with history. You will not interfere with history. You will not interfere with history, because the priests are told, even though you fall in love with your people, just like, the one movie with Martin Sheen and he's going up the river to kill that Vietnam Green Beret who apparently didn't want to kill anymore, and he was reading poetry to his Vietnamese friends. Marlon Brando represented the Jesuit, and so Martin Sheen is going up the Mekong River to go cut off the head of Marlon Brando because he represents the Jesuit priest who's just reading poetry, and he loves his people now. And you're not going to love your people. You may love them, but you're still gonna kill them. You see. So that's the mayhem. That's the insanity of an occult world that secretly has one religious ceremony underground in the dark of night, and then they come out on Sunday with their beautiful white robe on and their mask. The mask is everybody, because they got everybody masked under the spell. It's really a psychopathic world, because it's run by the darkness. They got us to think we're free. They got us to think that we're better than everybody else. America, come on, America has never been outside the box to compare how much better they live.
Hold. There's our break. Hi, I'm Dr. Lorraine. Okay, we just have a few minutes to wrap, and I'm just going to let Desert pick his parting shots for this program today, because he's given us an awful lot to think about.
Basically, the unseen hand with their minions have tested the psychology of our minds, and they know exactly who we are and exactly how to manipulate us. We were tested with Waco, and nobody knows that they were surrounded by Delta Force and 5 machine gun nests. All the people were machine gun at the doors as they tried to escape, while tanks were poking holes and blowing gas into the building so that it'd be an incinerator. While they said, this is not an assault. This is not an assault. We repeat, this is not an assault. Okay, and then they got everyone to believe that they really burned themselves alive and shot themselves at the doorway. You can see it on the flare films that were filmed at 10,000 feet. They killed the creator of that process, of course, because he was given the play-by-play on the film. So they tested us at places like the movie theater in Colorado, and then the Sandy Hook, and then the Boston Marathon, where none of those events were real. There were no deaths of any sort anywhere. There was no action. It was all an actor's staged event with CIA media participating. And then, in fact, in Boston, the cat was out of the bag so quick at Boston, they needed a diversion. So on April 17th, 2 days after the Boston Marathon, phony actors' Hollywood explosion, then they bombed. They literally, the headline should have said, the United States of America bombed its own town of West Texas yesterday, and literally leveled and destroyed an entire town and killed many good and decent people. And but nobody even understood that it was a bomb unless they would have done their own research by all the other photographs that were available right after the event.
I know
for missile.
Right. These are false flags, and these, they're either, like you say, the Boston Marathon, which is just completely a theater, or they're a false flag that kills innocent people. It's trauma-based mind control.
Bottom line, they know they can get away with anything they want to do, and there's nothing we can do to stop them, Lorraine. Bottom line. It's sad to say. I'm sorry to say it, but I know the truth.
Well, I do believe the one thing we can do to stop them is to find that heaven within. I do believe it's having the responsibility to educate ourselves, to go within, to find our connection to source, to begin to treat. We have to treat one another right as we would treat ourselves. It's about unity, and it's about consciousness coming together with, as we would say, pure intentions. I told you about the project we're working on, and while it may be a bit amateurish in its inception, I already know from multiple groups around the world that that we have a lot of support for this. It is really coming into our own power, our natural power.
Yeah, the good people are certainly attempting to wake up. The good people are good people. And we lose because of everybody else. That's the problem. We will lose because of the 99.9999% that don't give a damn, you see.
Well, it's, as you said, it's trauma-based mind control. People don't appreciate how they've been indoctrinated. Because I do have a profound faith in my creator source, and I've stepped way back from any religious, conception of that. I've had personal direct experience of coming into a place with my source, and I will tell you that part of what I feel we need to do is acknowledge those latent and nevertheless supernatural powers that we are born with. But it does take education, effort, a restructuring of your life, non-compliance, questioning authority. There's some personal risk involved in this, and this is where people
and the ability to read.
And the ability to read properly. So once again, listeners, he is offering up this dictionary he has, fantastic piece of work, as well as his 12 articles of human rights. And all you have to do is go to drhurley.net, make a donation of any size. We would request $25 to get both books, but it's not necessary. Any donation, there's a donate button on my website, and we will email these documents to you. They're pretty phenomenal. I haven't read them.